Hello, everyone. My name is Anastasia, and I am an expert in overseas real estate at Real Estate Agency. Today, together with Victoria, the head of the Moscow office of our reliable partner and developer in Dubai, DAMAC Properties, we will tell you about the top 3 locations for investment in Dubai in 2025. And I ask you to stay until the end because at the end, Victoria will present a special offer exclusively for those who attended our webinar. Let me briefly tell you about our agency and then I'll hand it over to Victoria. Real estate agency, we work with over 100 countries around the world, and we have about 200 developer partners and around 1,000 projects available to our partners in our portfolio. So, what sets us apart from other agencies? Probably the key thing is that we fully immerse ourselves in your request as clients and strive to find the best possible offer for you. Moreover, all the projects we have in our portfolio are carefully selected. We only keep those in which we ourselves would want to buy. Furthermore, of course, all the paperwork is transparent and we provide legal support. Also, the information we provide to you as clients and partners is always up to date, since we continuously monitor the market, analyze new trends, new projects, and what's currently popular. And by being our client or partner, you always receive the most relevant information backed by numbers and statistics. I'd also like to note that the founder of our agency, Katerina Nikitina, frequently publishes her comments in various media outlets and magazines such as Forbes, and you can check them out. Now, I would like to hand over the floor to Victoria, our representative from the developer DAMAC Properties.
Hey, good afternoon to all our viewers who have joined us. Thank you all for introducing me. Yes, my name is Victoria. I represent the company DAMAC and specifically the Moscow representative office. We have a running joke, as is common in Russia, that buying real estate is just like buying a car, provided that it doesn't have any maintenance in our country. Now, you have that opportunity. I am here in the Moscow office and I am happy to welcome you and will be glad to help with all kinds of questions. And now, actually, I'd like to tell you a little bit first about our developer in general, yes, about the company DAMAC. But first, I'd actually like to know if any of you already have experience investing in real estate in the United Arab Emirates or specifically in Dubai, or maybe you already have experience investing with us. Just put a plus sign or give some kind of reaction. I'm just curious. So now I'll probably start from the very beginning. I want to tell you about our developer. DAMAC has been in the real estate market in the United Arab Emirates for over 20 years. That is, the company has existed as a developer since 2002. And what sets the company apart is that essentially we built this city because those who have been to Dubai have seen firsthand that almost every other building belongs to our company. We are truly the largest commercial developer in the United Arab Emirates. In addition to all this, we have projects in 10 countries around the world. We have projects in the United States of America, in Canada, and in London. We even have a project in the Maltese Islands. Of course, we are present in the Middle East. I sincerely believe that such a large company as DAMAC might one day enter the Russian market as well. And I would really like to do so with my own project. But besides all that, DAMAC has many, undoubtedly, of course, achievements, and we are involved not only in construction. In general, DAMAC as a whole is a large holding company, or rather, I would even say a whole conglomerate. Yes, that is. We are also involved in investments. Yes, we invest in various kinds of global IT projects. We invest in projects such as, for example, payment systems. I don't know if you are aware of this, so I'll briefly explain. It's a kind of portal. 90% of websites where you can pay with your credit card use this systems processing. And accordingly, a project like Elon Musk's X Space, you probably know about it. We also invested money there. In addition to all this, we are building large centers, well, essentially data storage facilities for collecting information. And just a few months ago, before the inauguration, our leader Hussein signed an investment partnership agreement with Donald Trump, and they announced that the company DAMAC had invested more than $20 billion in building exactly these kinds of data storage facilities in the United States. In fact, during his inaugural speech, Donald Trump announced this to the whole world, which increased our website's conversion rate by 1,000 times. And of course, this gave us a huge boost. Essentially, he advertised us to the entire world. DAMAC is a very large company. We build with our own money. We don't use any investment funds or bank loans. We are a wealthy company. We build with our own money, and with us, your investments are secure. You can be sure that your project will be complete. And besides all this, of course, we have an achievement probably more than anyone else of having 100% community occupancy. What is a community? A community is a type of settlement where you get all the infrastructure you need for living. So essentially, it's a kind of suburban lifestyle in Dubai. And we have as many as 6 such communities. DAMAC Hills, these are 2 communities that are already operational. Then there are the DAMAC communities, Side City, and of course, our flagship project, which broke all sales records at its initial launch. We'll discuss it a bit later today. In addition to all this, of course, we care about our clients and support them in every possible way. DAMAC as a company makes a lot of special offers for its clients to ensure their comfort. So it's not just about the infrastructure in the location where you live, it's also about convenience of use. For example, we have a special app for our clients, right? So the client can see their entire purchase, keep track of all payments, and so on. And when they live in our community, if they need a tennis court for their activities or some other facility, or even the cinema in our project to enjoy an evening watching movies with friends, all of this can be arranged by the client through the app. We make our clients' lives as easy as possible. And besides all this, DAMAC is of course known for our love of various collaborations and partnerships. We have many collaborations. Here on this slide, you can see our collaborations. For example, the fashion house Versace. We have this project in London. This project is a collaboration with the fashion house Versace, and the entire project is done in the Versace style. Accordingly, we carried out the Fendi project in Miami. The International Golf Club of Donald Trump is represented in our DAMAC Hills community. And the Radisson Hotel is undoubtedly our partner. We are constantly collaborating. And in addition to all this, we also have several other collaborations that unfortunately are not listed here. Just recently, we signed a partnership agreement with the Chelsea Football Club, and now we are officially building a project called Chelsea Residence. In fact, this will be a grand project in the most desirable location in the city. And of course, it is already incredibly popular, not only among football fans, but also among people who simply liked it. We will definitely discuss it as well. And of course, there are 2 of the coolest brands. The first is the Grisogono brand, a Swiss jewelry brand. This brand is fully owned by the DAMAC company. We have also branded several of our residences in Dubai with this brand. These are the Canal Heights project, Canal 2, Canal Crown, Antitir, and also the Cavalli brand, Roberto Cavalli, and Just Cavalli. These are 2 brands that DAMAC has also fully acquired. Not only the production of various ceramics and finishing materials, but also the entire fashion house. The entire line belongs to DAMAC. I bet you didn't know that, did you? You found that interesting because it's quite a big point of pride. We have also successfully branded several of our most prestigious residences with this distinctive brand, including, for example, the iconic DAMAC Cavalli Tower, the elegant DAMAC Casa, and the luxurious Cavalli Couture, each reflecting the unique essence of our brand. Cavalli Couture, our project, is a premium one, and it certainly deserves special attention. Today, we're going to take a slightly different approach and focus on the most interesting and attractive options from an investment perspective. And on this slide, I'd like to visually show you the scale of our developers company. That is just how evident our presence is in the city. So you can see many of our projects here. Let me try to zoom in a bit so you can see this is the territory of Dubai. Here you can see our communities, DAMAC Hills, DAMAC Island, which we'll discuss today, Safa City, DAMAC Hills, DAMAC Lagoons, and Riverside. Everything you see, every red dot represents one of our projects. In total, we have more than 360 projects worldwide. Undoubtedly, the company is truly global. But in addition to our wonderful company, of course, we would also like to draw your attention to Dubai as a whole. That is to remind those who have investment experience or have tried to understand the market, or even those who haven't. Nevertheless, I want to remind you that Dubai is a flagship city that demonstrates how essentially you can turn a desert into a global center for business, tourism, innovation, and investment. That is, we all know very well that Dubai still offers the highest average returns in the world. So if we look at different locations, Dubai still remains the most attractive place for investment. What is the reason for this? Well, probably because Dubai still ranks fourth in the world for tourist visits and for safety. In other words, Dubai is one of the safest places on the planet. Undoubtedly, it also holds a leading position in terms of quality of life. So, how is this coefficient calculated based on various essential needs of life? That is, all the human needs required for a comfortable life. This includes healthcare and education. So, that's education, healthcare education for children, employment, comfort, and the quality and standard of living. Accordingly, all these criteria in Dubai are among the highest in the world. And another major criterion, in fact, is population growth. The population growth in Dubai is just absolutely incredible. The statistics are astounding. Honestly, I haven't seen much like it because I know that in the first half of 2024, Dubai issued 250,000 new residencies. Of course, this encourages people to come, relocate, and so on. We know that over the past 2 years, the number of millionaires in Dubai has increased from 4,000 to 6,000. These are not just millionaires and billionaires who simply moved to Dubai, but also relocated their capital here. We know that more than 62% of global brands have their headquarters in Dubai. Dubai is also about innovative planning. That is, we know that the government periodically announces certain areas for development. In other words, there is the Grand 2040 plan. You can watch it on YouTube. It's a 2-hour video, very informative, where the government officially explains which areas they plan to develop, which locations, what will be built where, what infrastructure projects will appear, and so on. All of this provides a stimulus for growth, for the market's potential, and so on. Undoubtedly, you are also protected. There is your investments are protected. Why does Dubai attract so many global investments? Because the regulatory framework of the UAE jurisdiction has become very strict, in fact, recently. And that's a good thing because it protects the interests of our clients, yes. In other words, all purchase processes are regulated, including by the Dubai Land Department. So accordingly, this is everything that Dubai does to attract investors. Of course, it remains one of the most reliable places, even in light of recent events. Nevertheless, there are still many people who continue to move here and want to relocate because it is like a safe haven. The government is, as I call it, as apolitical as possible. They are absolutely neutral in their political views, focused on development, and they do not support either side in any of the two conflicting parties. This gives them a great advantage. All nationalities live there in peace and have equal legal rights within the country. Yes. So we know that in Dubai, only 15% of the population are native, just 15%. And 85% are newcomers, expats who have come, relocated, and now live there. More than 90 nationalities live in Dubai. And of course, they create an atmosphere that encourages people to live in comfort and feel happy. Yes. And naturally, it's a favorable environment, not only for investment, but also for living there yourself. Besides all that, Dubai, of course, always has various incentive programs. And of course, when you purchase real estate, you have the right to take advantage of one opportunity or another. What do I mean by that? Specifically, obtaining the golden visa is very important. Yes. So if your purchase amount exceeds 2 million dirhams, you are eligible to apply for a 10-year golden visa for yourself and your immediate family members. That is your spouse and children. If, for example, your family also includes domestic staff or a driver for your children, then based on your 10-year golden residency visa, they can be granted a 2-year visa for your driver and your domestic staff as well. In addition to all this, there is also an investor visa. It starts, I believe, from $205,000 of investment. There is also a talent visa, and there is also another type of visa. Is that like for retirees? For that, you need to purchase real estate worth more than 1 million dirhams, be over 60 years old, and accordingly it is issued for only 5 years. This is actually the very program that many of my clients, for example, use. Of course, Dubai. Here we have a slide from 2003 statistics. Why does Paris hold the leading position? Indeed, it's because the Olympic Games were planned to be held there. And of course, Paris will always be a leader. It's the most romantic place on earth. But as practice has shown, Dubai remains the most comfortable place because it combines so many things: innovation, personal life, and tourism. All of this is intricately intertwined, and in fact, it's a very favorable development. This is the crucial slide I want to show you, which you can clearly see now. And it powerfully demonstrates the significant population growth over the past 2 or 3 recent years. So, of course, a large influx of population drives economic growth, the creation of new jobs, and the creation of new jobs generates demand for real estate, either for purchase or for rent. That's why all these main criteria are very closely interconnected and they help each other. For example, when many people discuss whether the Dubai market is overheated to some extent, I can tell you there is a very reputable bank, MBA, which annually publishes a ranking of the world's most overinflated real estate markets. And Dubai doesn't even make it into the critical zone. It's actually in the neutral zone positions. In other words, its critical potential hasn't even been reached yet. So there is still plenty of time to get in. I believe it hasn't even taken off yet. If you trust my opinion, I'll explain why. In fact, the market has leveled out a bit now, because let's remember, the average construction cycle here is 3 to 4 years. Now it's 2025. If we rewind 4 years back, that was 20,212,020, 2021. If you remember, that was a time when not a single developer was launching any projects. All construction was at a standstill and very few projects were coming onto the market. Accordingly, the critical mass that's being created right now and the timing coincides with the real estate we're currently focusing on. So essentially, the market itself and global trends have balanced out that slump. And what is being built now, yes, there is still a shortage of residential real estate per capita on the market. In fact, this is one of the key factors why Dubai will continue to grow. Also, of course, we can't ignore the conflict that's currently escalating. And let's be honest, I've always wanted to talk about this, but one way or another, such events do provoke demand in the Dubai market. First, it was from Russia, now it's from the East. And of course, in the near future, we can expect property prices to rise due to increased demand. So I think right now is a golden time for Russian buyers who really enjoy traveling and understand the market, because the exchange rate is quite low, right? Today, the dollar dropped to 73 rubles. So accordingly, it's a great opportunity to enter the market at these prices right now, because there's good potential for growth, right? I also wanted to tell you about the prospects. Dubai is also planning to build something, called, it's basically like a loop. And what does that mean? The essence of this project is that it will be built all around Dubai, along the entire perimeter of Dubai. wherever there is desirable real estate. It will be a kind of ring where you can move around using electric transport. There will be no emissions. The air will be purified and enriched with oxygen. There will be a lot of greenery there. So in other words, it will be a climate controlled environment. Even on the hottest summer day, when you enter and, for example, travel to the town, you will be in maximum comfort and so on. So it's quite a comfortable zone that will connect all the districts of Dubai together. And it will be built in the form of a very, very large tunnel. It will be a very environmentally friendly space. Yes, and another one of the coolest and most promising directions is, of course, the airport. The airport is the most important strategic point in any city in the world. Absolutely. So at this particular point in time, we clearly understand that in this specific and important location we're going to thoroughly discuss with you today, there are indeed significant strategic purposes and vital objectives for this particular airport. I'm talking now about Al Maktoum Airport. The current airport we arrive at is operational. It's quite large, but by today's standards, it's already almost in the city center because Dubai is expanding. And of course, the government considered where to relocate. One of the areas, of course, would be the airport. Firstly, because it will be located in Dubai and there will be an industrial development zone there. Jebel Ali Port will also be located there. Yes, and they will be connected by this multi-logistics corridor. So at this stage, the current airport, which is small, provides about 5% of all jobs in Dubai's economy. 5% is quite a good figure. That new airport will be almost 4 times larger. If the small airport currently has cargo turnover of about 3.5 million tons, the large airport is planned to handle almost 12.4 million tons per year. We can conclude that this will be a major strategic transport and logistics hub. In other words, they plan to build the largest airport in the world by 2050. It will serve as a connection point with many flights passing through Dubai as a hub and corridor, both for tourism, business, and so on. And of course, besides the airport, which they plan to develop, a lot of attention will also be given to railways that will connect the Emirates with each other. This railway will be called, it's called the Etihad Rail. It will connect, this will be a high-speed railway, and it will connect the Emirates of Ras Al Khaimah, Dubai, and Abu Dhabi. You'll be able to get there in just 40 or 30 minutes. And these stops will also be located close to the communities. What else did I want to talk about? Well, I guess now we'll move a bit closer to the location. I'll tell you a little bit about
I think before we move on to discussing the various locations, perhaps we can take a moment to ask if valued viewers have any questions right now. Maybe our viewers have some questions about the investment appeal of Dubai or about the Dubai market in general. Maybe there's something, for example, that confuses you, makes you wary, or conversely, something you really like. Then we can move on to locations and projects. Well, for now, it seems there aren't any. If anyone writes in, we'll answer. So you can continue.
Yes, please don't hesitate to ask any questions about real estate or about our projects. In general, feel free to ask for our opinion or maybe share your own experience. We're very interested. We always welcome feedback and are open to any questions. The main locations I focus my attention on, of course, there are several of them, but to be more specific, there are three. And after that, people started to really value a private lifestyle where you can go outside, not just sit in a glass tower, but actually have your own space, at least some fresh air and so on. That's why after COVID, villas and townhouses became incredibly popular in Dubai. And on this slide, I want to show you our project. This is DAMAC Lagoons. It's an incredible project. It's our community where we sell 4 and 5-bedroom townhouses, 2-story townhouses with 4 bedrooms, and 3-story townhouses with 5 bedrooms. The choice is actually obvious. These are all more or less decent, good, large communities. All of them are located in Dubai. Why is it worth investing? This is the most liquid product because the starting price for such a townhouse began at 2.5 million dirhams. For 2.5 million dirhams, you can buy a 1-bedroom apartment. If you're lucky, it'll be 70 square meters. In Business Bay, here you get a 4-bedroom townhouse for the price of a 1-bedroom apartment, and you have 200 square meters. Of course, when you're choosing the level of housing and where to live with your family, naturally, the choice leans towards townhouses because it's a more comfortable option, and accordingly, you get to enjoy life more. Yes, it is farther from the main city center. But on the other hand, you live much more comfortably because within the community, you have everything you need: schools, kindergartens, medical facilities, shopping centers, and all the stores. So your quality of life doesn't suffer at all. But for the same price, whether you're renting or buying, you get more comfort and convenience. At the moment, townhouses are the most liquid and profitable product on the market. We have had excellent experiences with our clients. For example, in our community, there were houses that cost less than $1 million for 3 square meters. As a result, the value increased by 48% over the 3 years of construction. Now, as it is being put into operation, it is enjoying incredible popularity. And just recently, we launched a new community, Highland Homes, which broke all sales records. On the very first day of the launch, we sold real estate worth 10 billion. We sold more than 3,000 units in the first phase of the sales launch. And you have a unique opportunity to get a 4 or 5-bedroom townhouse at a very low entry price. We are proud that we are building a community, as I already mentioned, with diverse infrastructure. This community is special. We designed it as a resort, and it's at the level of a 5-star hotel. It's like if you went to the Maldives and relaxed there, you basically have everything to choose from, starting with movie theaters and ending with various entertainment options and so on. A very convenient payment plan. Of course, we offer interest-free installment. That is, the payment schedule for this project is 75 to 25. What does that mean? It means your initial down payment is 20%. Plus, in Dubai, you have to pay a 4% registration fee to the department based on the property value. Accordingly, your initial down payment is 24%. After that, you pay 1% monthly for 6 months, then 5% at the end of the half year, and so on until construction is completed. Before the property is commissioned and handed over, you pay the remaining 25%. And the payment schedule is actually very convenient because paying 1% per month is not such a financial burden. At the same time, you get an absolutely interest-free installment plan from the developer, essentially. Anastasia, for example, transferred a 4-bedroom townhouse, which is 205 square meters. The price starts from $630,000, and accordingly, with the purchase of a 4-bedroom townhouse, you can apply for a golden visa for yourself and your family member. Similarly, the townhouse will be a bit more expensive. It will be $885,000. Accordingly, this purchase also qualifies for the golden visa. This is one of those products that, of course, I most enjoy recommending to my clients. I've actually already closed deals on this property with my agency. This is the kind of property that is guaranteed to bring you income.
Here, I'd also like to ask you to answer Mahmoud's question. What is included in the community in these homes? And maybe I'd like to ask you to tell us a little bit more about it. I really like this description. When you talk about how the community is organized, why is it called DAMAC Islands?
Undoubtedly, DAMAC Islands is positioned as a resort of 6 paradise islands. That is, the community is divided into 6 clusters, and each cluster is named after a particular paradise island. 6 clusters named Maldives, Seychelles, Bora Bora, Hawaii, Fiji. So all these paradise islands that we travel to, bringing back photos and memories. Accordingly, we try to recreate all this infrastructure from those islands in this project. For example, the Maldives are associated with marriage proposals for us. In this project, we will build a huge wedding podium for marriage proposals. You can also renew your vows there or simply have a celebration Similarly, in Bali, there are those unique swings that soar out into the jungle, right? So we have recreated them as well in the Bali cluster. And besides all this, it's the infrastructure in this project. For example, an artificial river will run through the entire project. It's called the Jungle River, which means river in the jungle. And thanks to artificial currents, rapids will be created so you can go kayaking there. There will also be a large aquadome. The aquadome is not just a big aquarium. This building will have all kinds of infrastructure, including a restaurant with a view of the huge aquarium. There will also be musical fountains like the ones at the Burj Khalifa, right? So in addition to all this, there will be a lot of children's infrastructure. These include water parks, sports areas, playgrounds, and for adults, there will also be a gym, CrossFit areas, and running track. The project will feature large water bodies, crystal clear lagoons that we are creating along the entire development throughout the whole community. There will even be a place where you can ride a small motorboat. So the amenities are so abundant that you won't feel like you're living somewhere in Dubai in the desert, as everyone says. In other words, you'll feel like you're in paradise, like on the Maldives. But the main slogan of our project is paradise is not a place, it's a state of mind. This is the very principle we followed so that people would feel right where they live as if they were truly in paradise. And of course, the company decided that such a place should correspond not only thanks to its infrastructure, but also through landscaping. That is, we will strive to landscape with plants that are found in various places under the same name. In the same way, we will create a park there where there will be turtles, iguanas, and large, colorful, enormous parrots. For example, in our DAMAC Hills community, flamingos roam freely. There is also a huge playground and a farm where you can pet and touch the animals. Children really love it. Besides all this, of course, we are distinguished by the fact that we have a very good company. They bring people together around them. In some communities, we even organize culinary master classes. So it's always about the community, it's always about life, about shared interests, and so on. And basically, we can show you any infrastructure personally during consultations. We can arrange, for example, Mahmoud, a Zoom call for you during which we will be happy to present this project, tell you a bit more in detail, and discuss everything thoroughly. What is the investment outlook? Next question. Well, of course, as is, we always consider the outlook based on what you have already done and what we have already accomplished. As I already mentioned, we have more than 6 communities, right? 6 communities. And of course, based on the growth figures in these communities, we can draw analogies. We build ourselves, we sell ourselves, we see how it grows, and we see the potential in this. For example, our third community, Domakla, has grown by 48% over 3 years. And that's not the ceiling yet. So we're talking about the period from the launch up to 2024 until the end of the fourth quarter of 2024. Accordingly, as soon as the community is completed and put into operation, the price per square meter will be several times higher. On average, we certainly don't make any promises, but a 48 to 50% increase during the construction period is something almost every one of our projects demonstrates. I can say with absolute certainty that these numbers are real. Anna, based on your experience, how easily do Russians sell property they've purchased? Is it easy to complete a sales transaction? Are there any problems or legal restrictions? You know, in my experience, I have clients who have never been to Dubai in their lives. They did everything remotely. We bought remotely, we paid remotely, and we haven't had any difficulties with that. Also, the company is a reliable partner that will assist you with the legal support of your transactions, among other things. And selling property, liquid property, it is not difficult. We don't offer clients properties that we can't vouch for. We've been working with the company for quite a while, and we understand the average client's needs. Their clients repeat clients. They don't just invest in one property. They enter different countries with them. Just this April, we had a deal with a client who was buying in Oman. We bought the DAMAC project with him. So this is a reliable partner with whom your investments will be secure. They will support you throughout, so you can feel at ease. And if you ever need to sell on the secondary market, it works out quite well. They have a large team, they work as one. So there are absolutely no difficulties at all. Of course, regarding legal restrictions, what I would recommend to Russian clients is definitely after the legal registration, yes, after we complete the transaction to arrange inheritance rights, this will certainly protect your investments. That is, you need to sign a document in the jurisdiction of the Emirates in order to protect yourself and your estate in the form of real estate. Some very interesting questions. I like it. You are all very active, very active. Let's keep it up. Let's move on to the next location. I actually want to tell you about the project. This is an incredible project, a project on the first coastline. It is located in Maritime City. Maritime City is probably the only and maybe the last man-made island in Dubai. And it's going to be absolutely amazing because there's also a development plan for it. This is actually one of the areas, the development plan is for 2030. Maritime City is on the first coastline and our project there is called Chelsea Residence. Chelsea Residence, because this is the project where we partnered with the Chelsea Football Club. Now, for 2 years, the players will be wearing jerseys with the DAMAC company logo, and we in turn are building their home in Dubai. Of course, the brand colors, color scheme, and logos of this football club will be used there. The residence consists of 6 buildings. First, the sales launch has already taken place. Right now, we are collecting EOIs, meaning we are currently gathering deposits from clients. For those who want to participate in the second phase of sales for this project, the project is truly unique. Firstly, because Maritime City is planning to develop further. That is, there will not only be residential buildings, but also business centers, excellent infrastructure, and educational facilities as well. In addition, there will be a large yacht club and also huge cruise liners will be coming in, bringing in a tourist flow of more than 900,000 people. So this area will be quite attractive in terms of short-term rentals, for example, right? It will show phenomenal numbers. This location will also be developed by the government. They are building a major transport corridor called Shindaga Road. It's a kind of transport interchange. They have invested about 5 billion dirhams. It will connect several nearby districts from Deira to downtown Dubai. Of course, undoubtedly, its construction would bring significant economic growth to this area and will connect places like Sheikh Rashid Road. And right now at this stage, there are actually many projects being presented in this location. But our project is not only branded by Chelsea, it also has the most attractive price on the market. That is per square meter, we are offering the most competitive price. And of course, it's on the first shoreline. And our project will also have a private exclusive beach. There's also incredible infrastructure there. The project is focused on sports and wellness spa. A lot of attention is, of course, given to the football theme. One of the buildings will feature a football field, and there will also be a football simulator where you can compete with friends in scoring goals. Additionally, this project will have a gym that will be fully branded by Chelsea. In addition, there will be a large spa area which will offer not just a sauna and hammam as in most projects. There will be a meditation zone, a room with simulated rain. There will also be a light room for relaxation. There will be a sauna, of course, children's facilities, a large kids room in a nautical style, an infinity pool, plenty of water play activities for children, including a separate private area called Blue Beach, Chelsea Blue Beach. This is a separate area for adults for relaxation. And accordingly, in addition to all this, a big advantage of this project is that the building's configuration is designed in such a way that all apartments will have a view. In other words, the configuration is such that the backside of the building houses the technical infrastructure, elevator zones, and so on. Accordingly, 90% of the apartments in the building will have a view. So this is a highly liquid property. And in addition to the fact that they will all have a stunning view of the Persian Gulf, the main advantage is, of course, the scale of the housing itself, right? So our one-bedroom apartments start at 88 square meters, and two-bedroom apartments are already around 120 square meters. Each apartment has a terrace, but the most important thing is the ceiling height. The ceiling height will be 3 meters and 40 centimeters. The only thing is the ceiling height in the kitchen area will be a bit lower. Due to the ventilation shaft, it will be 2 meters 8. Nevertheless, it's still quite a spacious area. There is double glazed windowing, and all household appliances are fully included. In the kitchen, there's a refrigerator, stove, dishwasher, and range hood. There are fully equipped walk-in closets, and the bathrooms are also fully fitted with all the sanitary ware and accordingly accessories. The project is truly just incredible. I really like it. And of course, the shoreline of Maritime City is absolutely top notch. This is a resort real estate. And as we know, resort real estate has always been, in any city in the world, in any country, the most liquid property on the market. And in this project, of course, since Dubai has very little shoreline left, it is extremely valuable. And right now, we are entering the market with the most attractive price. I urge you to pay attention. The price starts from $860,000. That is, it's approximately 2.5 to 3.3 million dirham. And of course, apartments with a view will be quite liquid. Plus, as I already mentioned, a large tourist flow is expected here. So even from the rental perspective, we are covering several segments for leasing. So the first is the tourist segment, meaning interest in short-term rentals. For long-term rentals, this could be, for example, students who will be studying either in the building itself or perhaps nearby, because both the Canadian and American universities are located just 10 minutes away. In addition to all this, business buildings will also be constructed. Accordingly, expats who come to work will also be interested in long-term rentals. And in such locations, long-term rentals yield about 10 to 12% annually. And for short-term rentals, it can even reach up to 15%. But if we take Dubai as an example, we usually count on 10 or ideally 12%. That's how it is. Those are some positive calculations. How do you like the Chelsea project? Did you like it? Do you happen to know anything about Merida? Maybe you've heard about its development plans, or perhaps you already know some of the projects. Let me tell you, we actually have 3 of our projects located in Maritime City. Our first project is called Arbor Lights. The second project is called Coral Reef. And the third project, which is global and large scale, is Chelsea. Harbor Lights and Coral Reef are projects that we launched about 7 and 3 months ago, respectively. In other words, they are completely sold out. But the most interesting fact is that with these projects, people usually, when they invest in some projects, very often end up exiting halfway through. And for example, in some projects, there might already be some secondary market deals. But if we look at the land department, we'll see that almost no one is exiting these projects because this location has such high potential. And people like our project accordingly. This project is like the cherry on top. And right now, this cherry on top comes at a fairly reasonable price. But in just about 6 months, we'll see completely different numbers. That's why now is the best time to take an interest in this project. Of course, absolutely, if anyone is interested, we are ready to give a presentation and tell you a bit more in detail. Here is the project. Does this have anything in common with, these are 2 different projects. Here we are talking about residential real estate, apartments. And there we are talking about townhouses. These are 2 different products. But both are very liquid. So today we came with an offer for a truly worthwhile project. That is one you can really focus your attention on. It all truly depends on precisely how you meticulously plan to invest your valuable resource. That is, we need to look at your interests case by case. I mean, perhaps you might want to consider investing for yourself, right? Maybe sometimes, for example, you need to come with your family. Is your family 3 people? Of course, it might be more comfortable for you to live in a townhouse. If you're thinking, I want to invest in a project to later rent it out profitably, without a doubt, resort real estate on the first coastline will be very good for rentals. Such projects pay off in just 7 years. In general, 7 to 8 years easily, like the Havels project. But this is a long-term investment because of the construction period and so on. So here you need to understand what interests you more. Both products are definitely worth considering. It depends on how you plan to use it in the future. I hope I answered your question. If you have any questions, Anastasia and I would be happy to set up a Zoom call with you to discuss your request in more detail. So here on the map, you can see its location. It is located among residential buildings. And the area here is actually quite pleasant. Maybe some of you have walked there. It's a very cozy place. Honestly, I really, really like this particular area a lot. It's very unique and truly premium. Everything that will be built within the City Hall vicinity will have a premium purpose and a high-end feel. So the audience will be like that. Everything will be new, built from scratch, and everything will look quite beautiful. This is our location. So what else have we prepared for you? And of course, we've prepared the project for you that's located right next to Al Maktoum Airport. Let me quickly flip to the map and show you first. Here you can see how large scale the airport construction will be. Accordingly, where the red dot is, that's where our Riverside community will be located. And now we're talking about the Riverside project, the project. It is located within our community where we are selling residences, townhouses, and villas. Unfortunately, the townhouses and villas in this community have already been sold out, but there is still an opportunity to buy a part here. The entry price is lower. This is a story about a modest budget and potential for good returns, again, thanks to the development of the airport. As I already mentioned, it will be one of the most grandiose, largest transport and logistics hubs in the world, where different flights will connect, where there will be a huge turnover, trade, and in general, a multi-corridor that will link the port with the airport, which will bring significant growth. Additionally, there are plans for significant development of various industries in this area. They will be relocated there. Now, on this slide, I will show you, here is Dubai Investment Park. Accordingly, here is the Dubai Expo 2020 area, an advanced development territory, which is already, at the moment, each exhibition at Dubai Expo is generating demand. It creates demand for property rentals since the exhibition center operates year-round. Accordingly, this is a year-round demand for rentals. Of course, there will undoubtedly be extremely high demand and strong potential for short-term rentals as well. And still, the advantage of this project is that by living in an apartment, you are part of the community and can enjoy all the benefits of the community, just like those who bought a townhouse. Here, prices start at 1,200,000 dirhams or from $350,000. The apartments start from 73 square meters, depending on the configuration. Different apartments have different balcony shapes. The balcony is always included in the price of the apartment. Also, when you buy an apartment, you get not just the full finishing, but all the built-in furniture is completely done as well. You also get a parking space assigned to you. This is the standard procedure in every project in Dubai. Why is it called Riverside? Because an artificial river will flow along all the residences. It will be a freshwater river along which all the infrastructure and houses will be built. Its length will be 1.5 kilometers and at its widest point, 44 meters. And accordingly, there will also be all kinds of infrastructure, restaurants, shops, sports facilities, jogging tracks throughout the community, and children's infrastructure. Of course, we always provide good amenities, and this community is also well equipped. This is also interest-free installment plan, an interest-free installment plan of 70 to 30. That is, your initial payment is only 20% plus a 4% fixed registration fee to the lender. And then Accordingly, the remaining payments are 1% each throughout the entire construction period. And before receiving the keys, before the project is put into operation, you will need to pay the remaining 30% during the last year. And also, unfortunately, there will be no 3-bedroom apartments in this project. Only 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom apartments are available. But the prospects with the lower budget are very good considering the location. Oh, and of course, a high-speed railway will be passing through that location. There will even be a station nearby that will connect these Emirates, Al Khaimah, Dubai. So I hope this was informative. Do you have any questions about this project? The location is Dubai South. Accordingly, in this little corner where the red dot is, that's where our community will be located.
There also, the community is about, yes, Victoria. I just wanted to add and clarify for the viewers that in addition to the airport being nearby, there are also events held there. After all, this is Dubai. It's also simply attractive from an investment perspective.
Yes, absolutely. Even the planning and showcasing of various themes, yes. That is cryptocurrency, some trade exhibitions, these are held year-round in Dubai. They create year-round demand in this location. Even though I work at Doma and fly to Dubai, I can't find a place for myself. There's some very active, large-scale global gathering going on there, for example, among cryptocurrency enthusiasts. Yes, it was even hard for me to find accommodation in that area because our main Doma office is nearby and the hotels were simply packed. That's why, from the perspective of apartment rentals, it's a very profitable situation in this location. You're absolutely right about that. Well, let's sum things up. Of course, I still emphasize that the most liquid real estate in Dubai remains townhouses in Dubai land. If we're talking about the second most liquid, or the first, depending on your perspective, honestly, I can't really put them in opposition, but for me, they hold equal positions, just in different categories. And beachfront, resort real estate is also a very liquid product. In this context, we're talking about Maritime City. And the third location is when the government announces this area as a territory of advanced development, when the government officially declares that they will invest money into this location, develop it, build innovation clusters, various investment hubs, and so on. But I always tell my clients and investors, if the government tells you where to invest your money, you should listen because that means there is growth potential in that area, in that location. So let's be objective, be following the trends that are being announced to us, we will always come out ahead, so to speak. That's why by following these trends and the government's development plans, I definitely recommend Dubai Southwood project near the airport. The third location. So today we've covered 3 great promising locations. Please share which one you liked, which location appealed to you the most, and why. Honestly, as a developer, I would be very happy to hear your opinion because, for me, it's like being a mother. I can't separate these 3 children because they are all truly.
These are locations that are extremely promising for investment and are completely different from each other. So it was really interesting. Thank you, Victoria. Such a story, I think, well, there's a really big selection, so to speak, and there's definitely something to think about. But if clients have questions or want a consultation, or if you need detailed answers, you can always contact us by phone, and Victoria and I can either set up a Zoom call or even meet with you in person at the office. We have this opportunity thanks to our partner.
And of course, we'd like to offer a pleasant bonus for our listeners. In fact, that's why we've all gathered here today. I want to announce to all viewers and listeners, whether you are joining us now or watching this video later in the recording, I want to present to you our exclusive and comprehensive offer. As DOMAC for all valued clients of Nefri Real Estate who thoughtfully decide to proceed with a purchase with our esteemed developer within the next 30 days, we are delighted to be giving away the exceptional flying program. This truly means that DOMAC cordially invites you to personally visit the vibrant city of Dubai for an immersive experience lasting approximately 3 to 4 days. We will pay for your tickets. but we will meet you at the airport, accommodate you, cover your stay, put you up in our hotel, and of course, welcome you with pleasure. At our office, we will give you a tour, show you the scale of the project, take you to the location, show you the showrooms, and give you tickets on the second or third day to an amusement park. You will have a great time for 3 or 4 days, and in this way, we will get to know each other personally and seal the deal with a handshake. I think this is a really great offer. When you buy real estate and the developer company can offer such a pleasant trip as a bonus, it's always very nice. This promotion will be valid for 30 days after our webinar. For any questions, you can contact Anastasia. She will guide you. It was a pleasure to join you today. I hope this was as informative and useful as possible. But again, if you have any questions, I am at your service. And Victoria from the Moscow office of DAMAC will also be happy to welcome you at our office in Moscow. If you stay in touch.
Thank you very much, Victoria. We will be very glad. Thank you for joining us, and thanks to all our listeners. Feel free to write to us, scan the QR code, or contact us by phone. And then Victoria and I will help you with any of your questions. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for your questions. It turned out to be quite informative and great. Thank you all. Until we meet again, thank you, Anastasia, for joining. Please send my warm regards to all the colleagues.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.
All the best.